As we talk about these skills for learning together and building shared understanding, one of the things you may find yourself saying is, I already know how to communicate. Well, you do. And we imagine that there are practices you can use that will make you more effective. Subtle changes. Here's an example. Oftentimes, when we begin to have a misunderstanding, have you ever noticed that when it happens in a meeting, for example, we may begin to get more and more abstract, use bigger words, and broader, kind of, philosophical explanations, and it doesn't help. If there's some emotion to the misunderstanding, we may start to speak more quickly to one another. We may not listen to the response. As the other person's beginning to respond, I may be building the rebuttal in my head. Well, here's a practice and a skill that we find is very helpful both in misunderstandings and at other times when you want to really be sure that there's a common ground between us and we're on the same page. It's this. Instead of getting abstract and more theoretical or broad, be deliberate about coming down to earth. Be more concrete. Use real-life, concrete, everyday examples. For instance, if we are working on a project together, and I'm very concerned about bringing the project in on budget and on time, and you're very concerned about the quality of the outcome, it could feel like we're on different sides. And the more I tell you how important being on budget and timeliness is, the more you're going to say, but the quality of the outcome and the solution we find is what's most important here. Those are both kind of abstract. A suggestion is this. Try to come down to earth and give concrete examples of what your concerns are, what you imagine it looks like. So for example, I realize that I have a real concern that if we go over budget, it'll create a negative response and it may harm whatever outcome or solution we find. Ask a question of the other person. Ask them to explain or to give you an example that brings their concern down to earth for you. Perhaps on the quality of the outcome, you want to see a solution that works. You don't want to see us come up with a halfway solution only because of our fears about the budget or because a little bit more time would have given us the time we need. When we begin to get down to earth and concrete as we talk together, what often happens is we find we're not so very far apart. There's often more common ground, and talking at that level, we begin to discover possibilities for solutions that, up here using slogans and big words, we could easily miss. Now, one other little hint. Well-educated, professional, bright people, we're very prone to being comfortable using abstract language. The very comfort that we have in abstraction and talking theory can contribute to misunderstandings. And so, as a rule of thumb, what this skill is suggesting is it's okay to use theoretical language, but combine it with down-to-earth, concrete examples and check out that we're on the same page to be sure that the words I use mean the same thing to you as they do to me.